What's up everyone, it's Ben from the Vinyl Jukebox, and in honor of reaching the 500 subscriber mark on YouTube, I'm going to take you guys through a grand tour of my music room. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Alright everybody, welcome to my music room, which is also my office and my workout room. Serves a lot of purposes, but I like to think of it as mainly my music room. This is where I keep my vinyl, my CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray. That is kept out in the living room area. I basically split time listening to music between this room, my office, and the living room area. But I like to think of this as my main listening room. This has my favorite setup in it. It has a lot of my memorabilia. Basically has the vibe of a listening room, which is something I really love and really enjoy. I enjoy spending time in here, not only to listen to music, but also to work, to play guitar, as you guys could see, and we'll go through that in a few minutes. To work out. I have some workout equipment, which I'll show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys through everything basically in this room. We'll go through things one by one. And without further ado, let's get started. So starting over here on the left side, I've got my little box set shelf. Now, I mainly get my shelves from IKEA. These are the Kallax shelves or Kallax, however you want to pronounce it. This is the 1x2 shelf. The bigger shelf is the 4x4 shelf. But starting here, I've got my box sets. Not going to go through all of them, but you see Black Sabbath, Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin. I've got CD box sets here as well. Metallica, Rolling Stones, Smashing Pumpkins. You guys, I'm sure, saw the big Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction box set. Love that. I've featured that in the channel a few times. I've got a few things that I need to file away here. Beartooth CD long box signed by the band. Also a sealed Guns N' Roses Lies CD long box. Really cool. Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy. As you guys know, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan, so you're going to see a lot of GNR stuff around here. Now over here we have my CD shelf, which, as you guys can see, I have really cool dividers sticking out of here. These dividers I actually made myself. I have a video on how I made them, how you can make them, my whole process of making them. I'll put it in the description below. But basically I divide my records alphabetically, but I also have certain sections dedicated to certain artists. And I'm always adding my collection and my music room. Everything's always evolving. As you guys probably know, anybody who has a music room, it's always evolving. It's always changing. I'm sure you guys have seen from the backgrounds of my videos. Things change all the time. So I'm always adding sections here. But these dividers are really cool. It's basically I take an old dollar bin garbage record and glue it in a certain way, put a sticker on, and make these dividers. So I'll put a link to that in the description below that video. Really cool stuff. I think you guys will enjoy that. So I'm just going to go through some of these records here. Start out with the A's. I'm sure you guys can see. And one thing about me is I tend to pack my records a little too tight sometimes. Something that I need to definitely fix with more shelving. But right here we have Aerosmith. All right, love Aerosmith. Live Bootleg. Good stuff. Audio Slave. Chris Cornell and the guys from Rage Against the Machine. Love that album, one of my favorites of all time. Over here we have AC/DC. You can see their new album there. We have some Beatles. Just recently started really getting into the Beatles and building quite a little Beatles collection here. Not as big as I'm sure a lot of the YouTube vinyl community's collections are, but it's getting there. Going through the B still, we have Black Country Communion. I've talked about them on the channel before. Really cool band. This is mainly my rock stuff. I have a separate section for jazz. I'm starting to separate some of my genres a little bit as my collection grows, but a lot of that requires space. And space is something that is always, unfortunately, very limited. Black Sabbath, everybody loves that. All right, Heaven and Hell. This was a really cool reissue. This is the Reunion album that was CD only for a while, but they reissued it on vinyl. We're going through the B still. You see Bowie has his own section here. Just pulling things out randomly. David Bowie's, one of his more recent issues there of an unreleased album previously, Toy, Buck Cherry. Going through the C's here, we have Alice Cooper, Love Alice, Raise Your Fist and Yell. The D's, what do we have here? Dead Daisies. Really cool. I love their time with Glenn Hughes. He's moved on from them. New album I'm not too crazy about. I really did like their Glenn Hughes era stuff a little more. Deep Purple, Machine Head, classic album, gotta have it. All right, EF. We got Guns N' Roses has a huge section here. I'm not gonna pull out the albums, but I think you guys get the point just by seeing it. I did a Guns N' Roses collection video recently. And going on to the G's, we've got, I could see GBH sticking out there, really cool punk band, Grateful Dead in there. H's, what do we have in the H's? We've got Heart. All right, Heart, very classic album. Love that. Going through the H's here, we've got Jimi Hendrix. Gotta have Hendrix in any record collection. My I section is pretty small and J section is pretty small too. But what do we have here? We have Aaron Jones, really cool new bluesy artist. K section, we've got Kiss has a huge area in the K section. Kiss the Originals there. Got Kiss Alive 2. Ace Frehley's solo album. We've got Peter Criss's solo album. So really an awesome collection of stuff. It's hard to know what to listen to sometimes. Led Zeppelin in the L section. Lynyrd Skynyrd. See Metallica there. Ozzy. All right, going to the P's. Pearl Jam, Parliament, Pink Floyd, Elvis. Going down to the R's. Oh, no, we're still in the P's. Got Iggy Pop, Stooges related stuff. Over here, we've got in the R's, really cool Ramones, first album. We've got Pleasant Dreams. We've got Too Tough to Die. Love the Ramones. All right, we've got Signed, single of Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight. All right, moving through to the R's. Rolling Stones has been a huge section for me. They take up basically a cube and a half. All right, so, you know, stuff like Aftermath. Uh-oh, what's sticking out here? Oh, a little fan from their tour this summer that I went to. QR code didn't win me anything, but really cool fan that they were giving out. Stick that back in there. What else do we have here? Bigger Bang, one of their more recent albums. Blue and Lonesome. Hackney Diamonds, their most recent album. That's the website exclusive. This is the New York Yankees exclusive that they did. This is the Record Store Day live at Racket. So just moving along here. All right, over to the S's. Have a lot of Slipknot here. I think I have their whole catalog at this point of reissues pretty much, mainly. All right, we've got Volume 3. All right, over here to Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden. All right, moving down here, Van Halen, Winery Dogs. Now, one of the conditions to having this room, this setup here, one of the conditions was I had to leave some room for my wife to have her collection. She's got 2 big cubes there. She's got an awesome collection, some original Chili Peppers, her favorite band. And then this cube down here is New Arrivals. This is basically either records that I just came in and I've cleaned, or records that I still need to listen to, records that I've listened to maybe once or twice, but I still feel like I need some time with. So I'll put them in the New Arrival section. As you guys can see here, The record dividers are still a work in progress. Still need to make a few. I've got comedy compilations down there. This section right over here is a new section. Now this shelf is actually from Target, and it fits records really great, and it's kind of half the price of a Collect, so I might go with these shelves a lot more, but they don't make the huge shelves like at IKEA at Target, so this is one of the only ones they sell. But this is my jazz section. What do we have there? We've got Chet Baker, Coltrane, Miles Davis, Stan Getz, Wes Montgomery, all the essentials here. Then down here is basically my blues. I've got blues, some very tiny bit of classical in there, my 10-inch records, and also my YouTuber exclusive records. I've got a lot from Noble Records. He makes some really awesome reissues. I also have one from Too Many Records, Arms and Sleepers there. We've got Farm from Noble Records. We've got, this was his most recent one on his own label, Underground Fire, which is an awesome record. That's the red and white pinwheel. I have to do another recent finds video soon because I've gotten a lot of records lately. All right, so moving up here, we've got my Vox amplifier. All right, I'm gonna go back and do the equipment in just a moment, but this is my Vox VT20X amplifier for my guitar. I've got my Gibson SG here. This is my favorite guitar. I've got a few guitars in the house. This one's kind of my go-to. All right, and moving over here, I've got my bookshelf, which is kind of very cluttered right now. Got a lot of just tchotchkes, memorabilia, all kinds of stuff, but there is books there. You gotta kind of look past there. I've got books of a lot of different genres. I've got classics, I've got autobiographies of rock musicians, athletes. You'll kind of see a little bit of everything in this room. It's predominantly music in this room, but there's kind of a sprinkle of everything. I love to light candles in here. There's a really awesome guitar candle holder. I've got a little Bluetooth speaker, huge baseball fan. You'll see a lot of Yankee stuff in here. So this is a piece of the old Yankee Stadium foul pole. Really cool. So back up here to go through my gear. So the receiver that I go through, actually, why don't we start with the turntable, then I'll get to the receiver. So my turntable is a Pioneer PL510A. Let me kind of lift the top here so you guys can see. And I put an Ortofon red cartridge on it. Sounds awesome. I also put a Hudson Hi-Fi acrylic platter on. So I'm kind of adding my own equipment to it, and it sounds great. I love it. Really love working with vintage equipment. All of my equipment in here is, I've gotten used, thrifted here and there. And I love doing it that way. I could get really good deals on things, and you know, they don't make equipment like they used to, and they used to make some awesome equipment. So this is a really cool turntable. I love using it. My receiver is a Sony, it's a, I'm just reading over here, Sony multi-channel AV receiver, STR-DG800. This is actually a receiver that could be used for a surround sound. But it works great with my record player and my CD player, cassette deck. So works great. I like using it, and works for me. Moving over here. This is one of the coolest CD players I've ever seen because it is a 50 CD player, 50 CD capacity CD player, I should say. This is a Sony CDP CX53. It fits 50 plus 1 CDs. I've never put 50 CDs inside, probably never will, but it's cool that it has that function in it. I love these multi-CD players. Up here, I have a Pioneer CT1170W cassette deck, records, and it plays. I haven't used the record function on it before, but it plays these cassettes great. I used to think cassettes sounded like crap. They do usually tend to sound pretty crappy, but this makes them sound really awesome. So I love using this cassette deck. All right, moving on over here, I've got my speakers. Now I use these bookshelf speakers on stands. These speakers are Klipsch B100 passive bookshelf speakers. I like them. Eventually I'm going to want to upgrade to tower speakers, but these work very well in here, especially for a small room. They work really well. I think that, you know, tower speakers I definitely want to put in a bigger room. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed I'm not an audiophile. I'm not really that savvy with the gear. I kind of just put it together the way that it works for me and the way that it sounds good for me. But these work. So, but I'm always open to learning. All right, moving over here, we've got my spin clean and my other record cleaning gear in there. I was actually just cleaning records earlier today. My pedal board I need a good place for. My pedal board for my guitar is really big. I kind of have it in the corner right now, need a better spot for that. I have my desk over here, some books that I'm currently reading. This is my setup for making videos. Over here, you guys can see my Jay and Silent Bob, I Sure You Were Open, signed by Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, so really cool stuff. Printer for doing work. Mainly my desk is used for work. I'm a teacher during the day, public school teacher, so I'm definitely sitting here grading, listening to records at the same time. So let me move the camera up a little bit and go through some of my posters. Now these are things that really stand out and people comment about these on the videos all the time. So most of my posters that I have hanging up, I'd have to say probably about 95% of them are from concerts I've been to. So, and I really like to keep it that way. I don't typically buy posters for shows unless I've been to them. So this first one, last summer, I went to see Metallica at MetLife Stadium. Actually, I had to get this poster after the fact because they were all sold out. So I had to get it after the fact, pay up for it. This is from night one of that show at MetLife Stadium. They did the 2 nights. I was at night 2 as well. Couldn't get the poster for that. I'm still looking for a good price on that on eBay. Over here, the original Misfits. I did a little YouTube short on this poster. I got it signed by Doyle, the guitar player from the Misfits. Up here, some signed CDs. One signed by Slash from Guns N' Roses. One of the Chili Peppers' most recent albums, signed by all the Chili Peppers. Ramones clock, really cool. Some Guns N' Roses figurines. This is one of the coolest pieces, I have to say, in the whole room. This is a cabinet. I found this at a flea market. Coca-Cola cabinet. Has this like record thing image on the front. But if you open it up, it's got these little shelves in it that are the perfect size for cassettes. So that's exactly what I used it for. I hung it up and that's where I store my cassettes. I don't know what the original purpose for this was. Maybe it was in a bar. Maybe it was in like a home bar and somebody used it for you know, keeping certain supplies for that, but I think it works perfectly for cassettes. So that's how I'll be using it. But vintage, I think it's from the 70s. I tried to look it up and that's kind of what I found. So the 70s, we'll go with that. So moving up here, this closet over here, I'm not really going to show it. It's kind of a work in progress right now. I have to put a door on this closet. But up here, signed / print. This tin here is signed by Richard Fortus and Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, the newer version of Guns N' Roses. Have Marilyn Manson poster from the Hammerstein Ballroom. This is actually the show where the he had like a gun prop in the back, giant gun prop, and he was pulling on it during one of his songs and it fell on him and he ended up breaking his leg. I was at that show. He sounded better than I'd ever heard him that whole show, but the show came abruptly to a stop right at the last song, right in the middle of the show. So we missed about half the show. They canceled it right there. No money back, no nothing, but it was still awesome. Cool memory. And it was definitely all over the news the day after. All right, up here, I like to keep my Guns N' Roses posters from the reunion tour. The lithographs here, this is from the 2016 show at MetLife Stadium, their first round of the reunion tour. So really cool, and this one's a little foily, has some glitter. So this is probably my favorite, one of my favorites, for sure. This one, I traveled over to Hershey Park to see Guns N' Roses in 2017, the next year. That was an amazing weekend. Maybe I'll do one of my poster shorts on this one. I'll tell some stories, because this one definitely has a great story to it. All right, this one's from 2021. This was actually a rescheduled show because I originally had tickets to see them in 2020, but because of COVID, they had to reschedule to the next year. So they played MetLife Stadium, really awesome show. Mammoth WVH opened for them. And finally, the most recent time that I saw them was 2023, last year. They played MetLife Stadium again. This is one of my favorite posters as well. This Thomas Edison, of course, was from New Jersey, so they did a little play on that. But this show was really awesome because I got upgraded to 13 rows back from the stage, which, if anyone knows me, is like beyond a dream for me. So that was just an amazing experience. Moving on, this is a poster from a lithograph from Kiss's final tour in 2019, and they would go on for a few years after that at Madison Square Garden. I thought this would be their last show at Madison Square Garden, but it was not. We'll see if that final show holds up, but really cool lithograph here. Buckcherry, huge Buckcherry fan, signed album artwork from one of their most recent albums, Hellhound. The Misfits, one of the non-original versions of the Misfits actually did a in-store signing at a local record store by me, Clockwork Records. I was not at this signing, but I got this poster after the fact, so really cool. Knotfest, Slipknot's music festival, traveling festival, went to that. This is from 2021 in Hartford, Connecticut. And Peter Frampton, the farewell tour, which didn't turn out to be a farewell tour either. That's from 2019 from Madison Square Garden. I thought that Jason Bonham opening up was awesome. Amazing opener for that. Over here, going back to the amplifier, I got these guitar headstock hooks a while back, and I couldn't figure out what to do with them for the longest time, and so finally I decided, I got the idea one day to just kind of nail them into my Kallax shelf and use them as kind of hooks for my guitar gear. So I have one for my cable, one for my headphones, because sometimes I like to play guitar at night and I don't want to disturb the neighbors. So yeah, so it works out, and they turned out to be really cool. All right, so that's pretty much it for the music room. Oh, over here, some non-music related stuff. As I said, I'm a huge Yankees fan. So I've got a lot of signed baseballs here. I'm not gonna go through them really, but I've got some major names in Yankees history here. So I'm sure you guys can pause the video and figure out who those autographs are from. All right, got some diplomas here, and Derek Jeter print as well, one of my favorites of all time. TV in here, sometimes when I'm working or when I'm working out, I like to have the TV going, just streaming only TV really. And that's pretty much it. That is my music room. I'll give you guys the long shot again of the room. All right, it's not a very big room, but it suits my purposes for sure. Eventually, I'm hoping to upgrade rooms a little bit. This is a spare bedroom. I really feel like it's too small to be a small a bedroom. Even for a kid, this would be a small bedroom. But hopefully, along the line, you know, we'll upgrade and I'll get bigger music room. But for right now, it's an awesome room to hang out in, awesome room to you know, work out, listen to records, and like I said, my CDs, DVDs, all that stuff is out in the other room. Maybe I will do an updated music room video with those items in it. But for right now, guys, this is my music room. There you have it, everybody. That was a tour of my music room. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video. Subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, share the video, all that good stuff. And thank you, everybody, for subscribing, for watching, for sticking with me through these past few months. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you guys have too. And get ready, because I have a lot more cool videos, cool content coming for you. All right, everybody, take it easy, and I'll see you next time.